There's no time like the present, they say. Is this the time to really start investing heavily in South African companies? Where, for example, if you'd seen Business Day this week, the chief executive of Astral Foods, who we'll talk to next week, is suing the council in Standerton, wants to sue the president as well, it turns out, over the failure of municipalities to deliver basic services. Can the South African economy ever get back onto its feet? Paul Theron, is this the time to be investing in South Africa when people are feeling desperately blimmin' gloomy? It feels like after the dot-com bubble burst and after 9/11 and after the Chris Hani assassination, all of those things that were so negative and detrimental to our economic well-being, it feels a bit gloomy like that now.
Yeah, and we could actually be on the verge of a period of great political stability, returning confidence. There are plenty of other emerging markets that have much worse, economic scenarios. I think there's a lot of confidence in the president personally. I would say if you are invested already, definitely hold on to what you've got. I think South Africans generally are underinvested globally and not sufficiently invested offshore because of exchange controls.
Yeah.
So when people have made some money or have got some money hanging about, my normal approach is to suggest that they go global.
Okay.
But I certainly wouldn't be selling local investments at the current levels in order to go out.
Kabelo, you serve a retail market in South Africa. You serve the mom and pop who put money into an FNB bank account, and then if they've got any spare, they may very well direct some of it your way. What are you telling them?
Indeed. No, I think back to the SA story. If you take a long-term view, we've managed to reinvent ourselves. 10 years ago, or even 20 years ago, mining was a tremendous contributor to growth. That's changed. We've got financial services. We've got really innovative companies coming to the fore. Now, I think they have a handle on what the South African environment requires. And I think they have the capability to produce that. And I think also, touching back on what we've spoken on, perhaps it's not that great offshore if we focus our energies to the South African dynamic. And the markets are not...
Okay, let's shoot Paul Theron down from a valuation point of view. If you compare global valuations, European valuations, you look at Asian valuations, you look at American valuations versus valuations in South Africa, one doesn't want to bet the farm, one doesn't want to take money away from good investments like Apple and Google and others and pop them into bets on whether Massmart and Sasol are going to have a better decade ahead. But surely the time has got to be close, if not here, to be considering South Africa as an investment destination.
Absolutely.
And if we don't do it, why should foreigners give Jacques-Marie and Trevor Manuel the $100 billion that the president wants?
I think if you look at also the offshore market is looking at us. If you take the real economy and you look at the amount of companies setting up office in SA, trying to get into the rest of the continent, there's also a view that SAIEMs are going to change. But back to valuations, South Africa, yes, in my view, I think we're not as cheap as we could be. So potentially an opportunity.
Markets could go down further.
I've been hoping they do a bit so that we can find a good opportunity to buy. Yeah. Indeed.
Paul, clearly you're not completely bearish in South Africa. You've just moved into this brand new office space. You put up your lovely pot plants on the walls. Yeah. Take me through before we go, just on a lighter note. These beautiful lines of plants that you have on your walls. There's a bottom line which represents Amazon,
yes.
and it's got a nice path, and it sort of goes from the bottom left to the top right of your office building.
Exactly. So Amazon is a fabulous stock. I still think...
Why you can't have PSG graph is because we go through the roof.
So Amazon, to me, the international markets, I know the valuations could be a concern, but for me, they look good because this China trade war is all just theatre. We know that Donald Trump wants to get re-elected in 2020 more than anything in the world. He will do anything in the world, including doing deals to finish the trade war and to bully the Fed and all sorts of other unspeakables in order to have a strong economy and a strong stock market to get re-elected. So I think now is a good time to be going global. Behind me is also the share price of Tesla.
Now you've used a plant called spekboom, which is one of the greatest absorbers of carbon in the world.
So perfect for Elon Musk, one of the greatest absorbers of carbon in the world and generators of hot air in the world. And then right at the top is a plant called a cotyledon, which is actually commonly known as a pig's ear. So we thought that would be appropriate for Taste Holdings because they are the holder of the Starbucks license in South Africa, which sounds like an absolute gift, but somehow they managed to make a pig's ear of that so far as well, and it's trading at 10 cents a
But
share.
we've seen just last week, we had Hassan Adams on the show, and they were talking about Burger King and looking to get an equity partner into Burger King because they're, again, biting off more than you can chew. And they blew it on Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin & Robbins. These international franchises are blooming expensive to bring in and operate, especially in an economy where there isn't that much disposable income. So, I quite like the taste holding pig's ear analogy, don't you, Kabelo?
No, I think it's befitting, but you're right. You know, the expectation is often that, you know, we get into EMs, we get into South Africa, and we're just going to shoot the lights off.
Yeah. And they had such a great business at Taste Holding. Scooter's Pizza. Everyone loves Scooter's Pizza. You change everything to Domino's. And what happens to Domino's when you push one?
Two
Push
comes
a
up.
Domino's pizza.
No, you push one domino, all the dominoes fall over. And that's what has happened on the pig's ear graph over there. Tesla's sort of going in the same direction as well.
Tesla, it's true, is having a little bit of trouble at the moment.
A small bit of trouble. But they'll work through it. It's other people's money. It'll be absolutely fine. Kabelo Tsulu, thank you very much indeed. He's with FNB Wealth and Investments, and Paul Theron, the Managing Director of Vestact, in this very new paint-smelling building in Rosebank in Johannesburg. Thank you for having us. Kabelo, nice offices. Do you think they've got coffee in this office?
Well, I'm hoping to go find a cup now.
Oh, yeah, maybe there's a Starbucks around the corner. We'll see if they're still open. That's it from Taking Stock for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Till next time, have a very good week. Bye-bye.